take you through like the systems demo, the assessment and feedback process. I'm pretty sure that you'll have some questions as we go along. So feel free to stop me and ask questions so that I can provide more detailed information. And some parts of it, if I can't cover during the induction session, then I'm going to try and send that over to you on the email. Is that okay?
Yes, fine.
Good stuff. So let's start off. Now, one of the key things on the induction tends to be a requirement because you're studying this course with us through distance learning. One of the key requirements tends to be that you will need to switch on your camera for a couple of seconds at least so that we are able to see you and get you in terms of your face and your picture essentially for the purposes of awarding body requirements. So is that something that you can switch on for a couple of seconds? So we get to see you physically. Oh, that's great. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hi. So that's absolutely okay. Thank you for doing that. And let's start on with the induction. Right. So what I've got on the screen right now is the website. Now, this is a starting point for us because of two reasons. One, it gives you a lot of detailed information when you're not able to speak to any one of us. And this could be out of hours, specifically after 9 to 5, because we are normally in the, college between 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Most of the weekdays, Monday to Friday. And you'll be able to speak to at least one of us or one of 8 of us, who are essentially based in the administration side of things. Now, if you're not able to reach us, then there are different ways through which you can reach us. And that would be, using an email. This is a monitored mailbox, so you should get a response in a couple of minutes if you send an email to admin. Obviously, through the switchboard, wherein we have at least 8 people on this side of the line who would be able to pick up the phone and speak to you. You can also reach us through WhatsApp. I think this has become a communication channel which everybody uses, and that is why we add you to the level 3 health and social care WhatsApp group. So this particular thing is just under the home page of our website, and it's a purple color banner, and that's one of the reasons why we put it up here. The second thing that you're going to see on the website is that you can see, at least to begin with, some of the people virtually who would be responsible and would be guiding and supporting you during the course of your journey when you study this course with us. So that's obviously me, one of my colleagues. She's the registrar, so your registration and things related to your assessment, coordination, and certification happens with the registrar. Financial controller, obviously, because you're on an installment plan, sometimes you'll get reminder emails or text messages from the finance team to make installments, payments. Jill, she would be one of the key contacts, in the course because she's the course coordinator and she normally sends out these Zoom invites for the units when they are scheduled. Yevkartha, she would also be one of the administrators. She would be in touch with you once in a fortnight, and she would normally do that on the phone just to check with you in terms of the progress of the course. How's it going? Are you liking the course? Are you finding the course okay? Are you able to attend lectures? If there are any issues or any problems, you can discuss with her. Grace, she's one of the marketing administrators, or basically an apprentice that we have, and she normally looks after Moodle and the platform and updates on recordings and other bits. So if you do need a session recording, or if you missed out on a particular session, you'd be able to reach out to her and she'd be able to provide some of these to you via email. Aman is again one of the course coordinators, and he can obviously be useful when it comes to anything to do with the course or getting in touch with any of the tutors, looking at assessments. If you've submitted an assignment and it's not come in, then that could be, the point of contact. Heta is a part of OPEN's team, and she obviously looks out for finance and invoicing side of things. We've got David Law, which I'll come to in a second, because that's the AI part of our website, and that's going to be more useful to you when you want to get hold of information during the out of hours. When we are not in, at least our website and David is essentially working. Now, there are a couple of lectures on this course. Obviously, Reena is going to be one of the lead assessors, so she will be looking at marking your assignments when you do submit, and she takes lead on managing that with a group of other assessors on health and social care. In terms of the teaching side of things in health and social care, we've got Daniel. He's the specialist lecturer on health and social care. We've got Sayed Mazhar. He teaches in a couple of universities, including University of Birmingham, the City Birmingham University, and he teaches public health, health and social care, and nursing courses. And then we have Dr. Anita. She's a qualified medical doctor, and she teaches nursing and healthcare courses with us. So these three, apart from myself, who also has a master's degree in health and social care, I would be one of the backup lecturers, if I put it this way. But generally, there'll be three lecturers that you'll hopefully get to see during the course of your studies with us. So you can see them virtually here. And then there are other people in the team which teach other units, quality coordinators, and obviously people who are responsible for the journal administration of the course in the background. Now, on the website also, there are two important things that you can access. One of them, if I just look at on the top bar here, is the LMS login. LMS in short for Learner Management System, or we have it as Moodle, which is the software. And when you click on this, it opens up a new window, and that is where you have the access to the study material that we have provided you logins for. And I'm going to enroll you into the course so that you then get access to the study material as well. Now, just back on the website for a second, and should you need to look at our lectures and obviously recording of lectures, then obviously one of the things that I would suggest you to do is bookmark, our YouTube channel. And this is quite simple enough to do so because it's YouTube /UK Versity Online. And this can also be reached, from the website by clicking on one of the social media icons, and it should launch YouTube. Now, when you're on the YouTube channel, obviously there are lots and lots of videos on our channel. There are in excess of 10,000. What I would suggest is you go onto the playlist, and within the playlist, if you go and navigate to health and social care management, because we teach over 177 different courses in accounting, business, computing, law, nursing, teaching, logistics, tourism, supply chain management, courses in psychology, lots of them. So what my suggestion would be, if you need to look at the lectures that you want to access, there are lectures which are uploaded in the healthcare management section, which is this particular playlist, or you can go into the live section of it. And in the live section, obviously, there are lots and lots of videos, which are live sessions that we do, and they are easily, findable. If I write, say, for example, one of the units that you're going to do is human growth development. So if I just write the name of the unit, all the lectures, all the latest lectures on this particular unit will straight away come up, and they are essentially, learning outcome wise. So LOs stand for learning outcome, and each unit is divided into, a couple of learning outcomes. So the lectures would tend to have, a narration wherein which learning outcome you're looking at would be essentially visible. And you can sort them out on a basis wherein you are able to watch lectures which have been delivered in the last 12 weeks, in the last 3 months, or if you want to look at lectures from different lecturers itself teaching the unit, then there is a lot of variety on that which is available. So as you can see, in human growth development, there are in excess of, about 20 to 25 different lectures which have been given out by, different lecturers. Now, apart from this, the website typically uses artificial intelligence. And if you have questions that you want to ask, the website, or when you want to look at essentially some questions that you want to see what they are, and if you want to find answers, what I would do is go onto the homepage of the website. The red banner on the top here has an option called Chat with Us. So when you click on Chat with Us, it opens up a new window, and you can ask any question here related to the course or the courses or the organization, and it'll give you an answer with regards to that. So let's give it a quick shot. And can you think of any questions related to your course that you want to ask, or it's coming to your mind?
No,
Okay.
I'm understanding it.
What is the, so if I look at, for example, what courses are offered in health and social care? And if I just ask that question, it will give you a list of courses that we offer in health and social care itself, right? And if that does not answer, then obviously if you fill this in with a name and a brief question, it'll send an email off to one of the staff here, and they will respond back to you straight away. If you want to know, for example, who are the teachers in health care, for example, courses. So if you ask that question, the website should be able to give you a clear answer that there are 4 lecturers. Patricia Alderson, she was on leave, but she's joining back on the 4th. So there are 4 lecturers, as I mentioned, and showed you the profiles. But the site is able to intelligently give you answers to anything that you would want to ask. So do you answer queries in Spanish? If you have a question like that, it'll still give you an answer. Yes, I can assist you with queries in Spanish as well. So if you're accustomed with Spanish, Italian, your native language, I think it supports about 12 to 15 languages that we've configured and obviously trained it on, and you can ask questions, because obviously as a provider, as a college, we basically are present in about 24 different countries, and we are an accredited college under the BAC, one of the 32 private colleges in the UK. So if you go onto the BAC website and you want to look at accredited colleges, this is where it comes out that we are not a distance learning provider, we are not a short courses provider, we are a proper college based in the UK, and it is clearly recognized. And we go through an inspection. We have our own, inspections which happen once in 3 years, once in 4 years. There's a surprise inspection which the agency does, and this is to ensure the quality standards and conformance to what we are teaching and delivering, in terms of qualification. And that is why the qualifications that we teach and deliver are globally valid. So if you want to read the last inspection report, we are due for an inspection beginning of next year. And if you want to read the last report, you want to see where we are and who recognizes, all this is pretty much present, on the website. Now, that's the bit which I wanted to show you on the website. And I think you can go across and obviously look for information as and when you do need it. Now, let me quickly go across to the second system. So second system is Zoom. This is how you're going to be attending lectures with us. So when we do lectures on Saturday and Sunday, or Wednesdays and Fridays on healthcare, you'd normally end up receiving a schedule. That schedule will essentially provide you the links. And when you click on the link, you should be able to pretty much get onto the lecture and pretty much basically attend the sessions straight away on the unit. Now, when we do send these lecture invites, they tend to be like this. Just to give you a quick idea. So just one second. So these are how the lecture invites go out. They go across to all the learners who are on the session. They will specify what unit you're going to be learning. It will specify the date of the lecture, the lecturer's name, and it'll tell you, and it'll have specific invites for particular days on which these lectures is happening. So if you click on a different invite, for example, if you click on this invite, which is intended for 30th November, you'll be actually waiting in a virtual room and the lecture would have started somewhere else. So what we also do, in addition to kind of make sure that you are able to attend and obviously join the lectures, what we tend to do is also add you to a WhatsApp group. And when we do add you to a WhatsApp group, we will place these lecture invites and the recordings of the subsequently the lecture after it has happened, on the group, so that you are able to follow it if you missed out, or you've not been able to join, or if you joined in the middle. This is a group to which you are going to be added now. And when you add it to this particular group, it's like a bit of an information board for urgent messages only. And what we tend to do is put out the invites so that even before the session is starting, you don't need to look for it in the emails, but you are able to find it from the WhatsApp group. And obviously a bit of networking that can be done, but this is strictly a professional group. There are no jokes or funny images or messages shared in this group. This is strictly for course purposes, and more or less way with us as lecturers to be able to get in touch with you and obviously speak to you during the course of the conversations in the course that you're doing. Now, the fourth and the last most important system that we want to look at is the Moodle. And this is the course system from which you get the access to the course material. Now, what I want to do is very briefly take you through a quick demonstration of this. Obviously, I'm going to log in as the administrator because I want to show you the full system and how you would access it. So there are lots and lots of courses that we run, as I mentioned earlier. But on the system, first thing that you're going to do is you're going to get a username that you got from us, which is always in small letters. And then you put your password in, which is case sensitive. Obviously, you can log in and change the password. And then what you do is when you put your username and a password and you click on this greater than arrow, it then logs you into the system. Now, the first thing that you're going to land up is when it logs you into the system, it will show you a calendar. Now, these are the different sessions that we are holding, because there are lots, over excess of, I think, 1,400 students which are studying with us. So there are lots and lots of different lectures happening. Now, this is of no use to me. What I want to do is go into my courses on the top. From the home, when you're logged in, it shows your name here. I'm logged in as the administrator, Andy's login. You click on my courses and you should see one course that will appear once I enroll you now. It'll appear here, and that is the course that you're looking at studying with us. So what I'll do is I'll go into this course, ATHE Level 3 Diploma in Health and Social Care. And what I'm going to do is enroll you into this course. So your username is in small, which is Anne, and obviously the password is case sensitive. I'm not going to discuss that, and you have it on the email. Now, once you're enrolled in the course, there are two ways of getting into the course. One is from my courses, and the other would be under the awarding body name, which is ATHE. As ATHE stands for Awards for Training in Higher Education. That's the full form of the word ATHE. They've been going from 2009, one of the most recognized awarding bodies in health and social care. Their qualifications are accepted by 44 different universities for progression, and obviously on the UCAS tariff, should you wish to study further and go into like a bachelor's in health and social care management. Now, when you click on ATHE, just hover your mouse here, and then the short form of the course, ATHE Level 3 Health and Social Care, and the version 2023. So when you click on this course, this is the content that you are going to be accessing almost, I would say, on a daily, weekly basis. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, as you see on the page, there are two parts to the navigation. There is a short navigation, which is given on the left-hand side, which shows you what all is on this particular course. And the other thing is on the right-hand side, you see the course and the structure of the course. Now, generally, depending on how you left it, when you last logged in to the system, you'd probably see all the sections expanded. So the first thing that I do is to remove the clutter. All I do is click on collapse all. So when it collapses all, it shows you the 6 units that you're going to study and the journal section, which is important for you to get familiar with before you actually start studying the course. So when you click on this greater than arrow, the section opens up, and these sections will have different documents. Some of them could be PDF, some of them could be Microsoft documents, some of them could be web documents, which are going to be like videos and links to videos, which will take you to our YouTube channel. And that's how the system and the material on the system would be consisting of different formats or different types of files. Now, what is the layout? Now, the layout is, my session would be today that we're going to focus on, apart from the course overview, and I'm going to show you a couple of documents for signposting. Journal section is something that I would suggest that you get into and familiarize yourself with. One of the sections that we're going to look at is documents in this journal section is course handbook. So when you click on it, it opens the course handbook. This is the awarding body course handbook, gives you the title of the course, and it is a couple of pages long. And I will tell you what pages to look at and what pages we'll go through. But this is one of the documents that you get to see as far as the course handbook is concerned. Then you have a learner handbook, which the awarding body provides, some value addition in terms of information, career pathways, professional development, training, and bits and pieces, which they provide, which is also available as a soft copy. And then there are some useful documents, specifically Harvard referencing, because in the qualification that you're going to study, most of the work that you bring in as paraphrasing or as quotes from various places like books, articles, journals, and our presentations that we've all provided on Moodle will essentially require you to reference the work. That means give credit. So if you need to refresh what is Harvard referencing, there's a presentation that we've provided. Now, one of the key things in today's context with the advent of artificial intelligence and softwares, one of the key things that you have to stay clear of is look at the malpractice policy, because when you look at higher education and qualifications and higher education, this is one of them that you are studying with us. All your work is referenced. There are no exams. So obviously work is assessed through assignments. So here the focus is on plagiarism or similarity. So when you submit your evidence in terms of assignments, we will scan it through AI software, and we will also scan it through Turnitin to ensure that the work that you're submitting is not plagiarized, is something which is your own work. Now, this policy is a couple of pages long, but the main part that you would need to look at is that anything over 20% would not be acceptable. So in such cases, what will happen is if you do submit an assignment, assuming that assignment has, say, 30% similarity, you will get a copy of that report back. We're unlike universities. We're not going to penalize you to say, no, no, you failed this unit or this unit cannot be awarded. No, what will happen is we will send you a report. That report will have a traffic light system. It will show you green, yellow, or amber and red. Places which are showing yellow or amber, in this case, amber essentially and red would need to be paraphrased or rewritten in your own words, and the report would be helpful for you to do so. But obviously, the report is shared with you in order to give you guidance to say that you have to stay away and stay clear when you start essentially writing your assignment. Copy and paste is fine, but what you need to do then is reference it and paraphrase it in your own words, and that is what would be highlighted in these policies. Now, there are bits and pieces of assignment submission guideline which we'll go to a bit later. What we do is we suggest what to do when you are looking at completing an assignment, how to submit it, what are the key parts of it in a small presentation summarized. This is something that we go through at the end of every unit to ensure that you are able to get the grades that you want to achieve, and we are able to provide you the guidance that is required to be able to achieve the grades. Now, one of the important documents that you will look at in this journal section would be the key personnel. Now, if you need to reach key people in the college, these are the key people in the college that you need to reach, and their direct emails are given, what they handle, what they manage. So you clearly know if you have an issue related to Moodle, that means you've lost your password, or you're locked out or whatever, who you need to email. If, for example, you're delaying, for example, submission of assignment, who to email, all those things are on this particular document. It's a one-page document. We've tried to make it colorful so that you print it out at your end and you can pin it up somewhere in your room or somewhere in your study room, so that for the duration of the course, at least you have the contacts and the key people's details available at hand to be able to reach out to us immediately. Now, in the journal section, there are other documents as well, but I'm just going to generally collapse this section, and I wanted to signpost and show you some of the documents that you can look at going through as a bit of bedside reading, either today, tomorrow, or day after. Now, what I want to do is also quickly highlight the layout of how the units are arranged. Now, without opening the units here, I can go to the left-hand side in terms of the navigation. Now, if you are on a mobile device, what will happen is I've closed that navigation. On the mobile device, you'll actually see this as a small tab on the left. So when you click on it, it'll appear, because on the tablet or on a phone, when you're accessing it, it becomes a small screen. So obviously the navigation minimizes to the left. Now, if I want to look at a particular unit, I can actually use the side navigation to look at doing so and jump straight away onto that unit. So I want to go to unit 6, straight away I jump to unit 6. But yes, for some of us, if we want to look at the whole unit and the structure of the course, then you need to look at this particular navigation here, which is called the breadcrumbs, because there are smaller pieces of navigation. And if I click back on the course, it'll take me to the home page of the course from where I started. Now, how is the material arranged in this particular course? Now, when I look at clicking on any particular unit, what you're going to see first and foremost is the unit specification. Now, this is an important document that we've taken out from the handbook. And the reason I want to show this document is that how do we teach and deliver the unit? Now, I'm an expert in health and social care, and I've been teaching health and social care for, say, since 2017. But I just can't teach you anything. I have to go by what the syllabus is and what has been defined by the awarding organization. So what I do is, in this unit specification, this is a useful document for me as a lecturer. And what I do is I look at understanding what the document is asking you to do in terms of the unit. How much is the credit? Is this a graded qualification? And then how many learning outcomes are there? And what is the content which is to be taught in this unit? So if you see the unit is broken down into learning outcomes and assessment criteria, the assessment criteria at a later stage become tasks in the assignment, which are pass, merit, and distinction. But generally speaking, if I look at this particular unit, Unit 4, you would see there is one learning outcome, there is second learning outcome, there is third and fourth. So there are 5 and 6 learning outcomes in this unit. And that would mean that we would cover this unit in 7 lectures. 6 lectures would be 1 lecture for each of the learning outcome. And the 7th lecture is going to discuss the assignment in terms of how to do the assignment for this unit. Now, what do we teach in each of the learning outcome? This all of it in terms of the entire material is covered in the discussions that we do on sessions like these that I'm conducting right now via Zoom. So this document is a bit of a guide, a guidance document, plus also a bit of an overview document, which tells me as a teacher, as a student, what do you need to study in this particular unit? So this document is called US in our language, or what we term as unit specification. So this is a document that I normally would say is what is called US, unit specification. And it's an important document because it helps us lay a bit of foundation for what is going to be taught in the unit. Now, after this, what I want to do is look at some of the other documents in the unit, and they would include some handouts, books, some specific, handouts specific for certain tasks. And then there will be what are called learning outcome-wise presentations. And for that presentation, there'll be a video recorded lecture, which is a live lecture. Just like I'm, conducting this induction live, it'll be a live lecture with whatever is being discussed is being recorded via Zoom, and that will be visible to you here. Now, generally what we do is there are certain documents that we provide, which are normally going to be documents useful for achieving higher criteria tasks like merit and distinction. And they are labeled as that because we want you to achieve the highest grades. And for doing so, you need to do some research. You need to do some additional reading apart from what we are teaching you. And this will come from these additional study material documents. Now, they could be articles, they could be handouts that we've created over the years. There could be some templates that we provide. And these templates would be in the form of a Word document. Now, one of the tasks talks about describing person-centered values. So what we've done is, instead of you starting from scratch, we've given you an empty document which is related to task 1.1 in the assignment, and this is person-centered values. Now, when I look at the presentations, when I click on them, what you're going to see is the presentations open up. They have lots and lots of material related to all the indicative content which is in that particular unit specification. So we'll start off with some discussions on journal important key terms of the learning outcome, and then go into individual assessment criteria to discuss the content of that learning outcome in detail. Now, the presentations are quite worded simply because we want, from our experience, and what we want to understand is that if learners do not go through any other material like books that we provide, handouts that we provide, but if you go through our presentations, you are going to be able to get 80 to 85% of the knowledge required to study the units. So the presentations tend to be quite detailed. They cover all the assessment criteria which are in that learning outcome. And towards the end of the presentation, you would normally have what is called a plenary slide, which will give you some additional material to also go ahead and read, and shows you the content that we have taken in some places to develop these presentations. So they are most up to date. So for example, this unit that you're looking at, the presentations have been updated in the month of September 2024. So you're not going to be looking at reading in a presentation which is made once in 5 years, unlike universities. Our content and our presentations are updated every 10 to 12 weeks because there's a different lecturer delivering it. And if there are updates happening in the health and social care sector, those will be reflected in the presentations. Now, if you decide that I want to listen into the lecture, you just click on this arrow. And here, what will happen is the video of that presentation will start playing. Now, sometimes the learning outcomes are also divided into part 1 and part 2 because there's lots of material to cover. So if you want to watch this particular session, you can click on YouTube and it'll take you to the YouTube recording where you'll be able to, actually watch this particular session in full. And this particular session is 1 hour, 52 minutes long. The reason why this is that long is because of the fact that it has lots and lots of material to cover. And what we want to do is, if there are more learners on the session, they are asking questions, we are giving everybody an opportunity to essentially discuss, share their knowledge, and obviously gain the skills from which the lecturer is actually delivering, the unit. Now, you would normally find the lectures and the material organized in the form of recorded lectures as learning outcomes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then towards the end, you have an assignment discussion session. There is a sample that we provide for the assignment. Now, for us, a lot of us, it's back to school maybe after a number of years. So what we've also done is we've also provided you a sample assignment for you to look at, just to see and get some reference in terms of how an assignment would be submitted by you when you're actually completing and achieving this particular unit. Now, these are random assignments. We anonymize. I won't be able to say whether this is pass, merit, or distinction, but the assignment would provide you a very good idea, or give you a very good idea in terms of how it needs to be done when you are ready to submit the assignment for that unit. And then towards the end, you have what is called the assignment brief, which is the actual assignment that you need to be able to attempt for this particular unit in order to achieve a grade that you're wanting to look at, pass, merit, or distinction. Now, in the assignment, you would generally see, there are tasks. These are related to assessment criteria of the learning outcomes that we teach. And the higher order activities, which are merit and distinctions, they're always listed separately at extension activities. But sometimes I have mature learners who are just doing the qualification because they want to rubber stamp, or it's a requirement by the employer. They're not interested in, obviously looking at grade, because it's one of the requirements that they want to complete, and they will only attempt the past tasks. But there are learners who are looking at progressing further, going to uni in order to get a merit and distinction is good, because there will be more points that you would get for the qualification on UCAS when you make the application. Because when the clearing happens in the university, as you know, they prefer to get distinction students first, or grades first, then to get merit, and then finally pass. So that is where it would make sense for you to look at attempting everything in the assignment brief. And then we will provide you feedback to say what grade you have achieved. There are areas that you might need to elaborate, make changes on, and that is given to you as an ongoing feedback when you submit the assignment, to us. So the layout of content on any unit that you want to look at would be the same. So if I click on unit 3, you'll have the unit specification, you'll have a sample assignment, you'll have the study material, there will be books which are integrated into the unit, and these are traditional books that you would read or will be looking at reading, and they will be a part and parcel of, the units wherein the books have been prescribed by the awarding body. And what we have done is we bought the electronic versions of it, and then we have provided it along with the unit that you're going to study. Now, you have to keep in mind that these are under Copyright Licensing Act. So obviously they can be used for your personal purpose, but you cannot, download them, or if you download them, use it for the uses of your course, but you can't place them on public boards, or, share it on emails, or send it to open forums, because obviously, one, we paid for them. Second, we don't have the license to distribute these books. They are primarily only for the purposes of our students for the duration that you're doing the course with us. Now, after the books, you have recorded lectures. Each recorded lecture will have its presentation, and these recorded lectures, as I mentioned to you, are replaced or updated every 12 to 16 weeks, because we're teaching this course about 7 to 10 times in the year. Is that okay? So that's the most important part in terms of the system, how you would access the system, how do you look at getting hold of the teaching material, and obviously, if you miss out on any particular lecture, then how do you look at listening into the recording or getting hold of the recording, because they are all appended in the system itself. Is that okay? Any questions on this so far?
No, thank you.
Okay. Now, apart from the systems, if I look at a couple of quick other things that we want to look at, I want to look at sharing with you what is called the assessment and feedback process. Now, it is vitally important for me and my lecturers as a team to ensure that you're able to get the grade that you're looking at intending to get in the qualification. So I'm going to show you how this process works. I'm also going to show you visually how the assignments are submitted, where they are submitted, and once we receive them, how quickly we give you feedback and what is the process through which we give you feedback. So I'm going to share, my full screen for a second. The reason is I want to show you all the documents together, and they would essentially give you a very good outlook in terms of how the assessment process essentially works. So let me show you one or two things very quickly. So one of the first things that we do, where do you submit the assignment? So submission of assignment is done to an email called learnerwork@ukversity.co.uk. The reason why we submit it on the email is because this email, when you send something across, you get an acknowledgement to say your work has been received and your assignment cannot be lost. So an acknowledgement email comes to you the first time you submit the assignment. Every time you submit a document, a query, email is sent to you to acknowledge that. It's like a ticketing system, and we have a ticketing system where we clearly see whether this work has been received, whether this has been responded to or not. And I'll show you that in a second. Now, once the assignment is received, you normally send the evidence, which is your assignment, in 3 different formats, which is normally what will be asked in all the units that you study. Either it is a PowerPoint presentation plus a Word document. In some cases, if it is asking for a Word document, it could be in the form of a report, an essay, or a reflective essay, but they tend to be the journal formats, or in some cases, a case study. Let me put it this way. So these are the ways in which the assignment is asked to be compiled, because the idea is we don't want you to write pages and pages. What we want you to check is that what you've learned from this unit. So sometimes the evidence that you have to produce is asking you to produce a presentation. Sometimes the evidence is asking you to produce a Word document, but what that Word document will be termed as would be a report, an essay, a reflective essay, a case study, or say, for example, an information sheet, but they'll all be made essentially on a Word document. Now, do you have MS Office? Do you at your end have MS Office?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's great. Now, one of the other things that we want to also share is that if you do not have access to it, then you can download the free Office, from this website, which is a WPS Office. It is absolutely free, and this is the similar Office. It's a different company, but very similar to what Microsoft does. You have Google Docs also, and sometimes when we have learners, saying that, okay, I can't make a presentation or I can't do this, then in such cases, what we say is, okay, look at this particular Office, download it. It's absolutely free and there is no charges whatsoever. You obviously can upgrade and get better features, but the basic parts of what we use is absolutely free. Now, when you look at submitting the work in terms of assignment, how do you submit? Let me just share the full screen now, because I want to show you the full process of how the assignment submission actually works. Now, all these documents are typically available to you, from the Moodle. You would not need to download or, get anything specifically related to, your assignment itself. Now, let me share the screen. So I've got a big monitor. I'm going to try and share the full screen. Now, if you see on your screen, there are a couple of things. So there is an assignment declaration. This is a Word document that you can download from the Moodle. It's in the journal section. It will basically be required to be filled as a Word document. Every time you submit something as an assignment, you'll have to agree to these statements, sign, or write your name, your registration number, and the unit for which you're actually submitting the assignment. This is what is called the Declaration of Originality. Now, we have a website version of this as well, and that is something available on our website. So if you do need to do the electronic version, which is generally quite easier, you scroll down to the home page, go down to the bottom of the home page. On the 4th footer, you would see assignment declarations. When you click on this, you can actually fill this up electronically, while submitting your assignment. So here you would mention your number. So here you would mention your name, your email address, something which is very simple to fill, but I'm taking a bit of time to explain this to you because I want you to understand that, this is important when the awarding bodies come and look for certification. They would check whether the assignment has been submitted by the learner, and it's quite intuitive. So I just write healthcare, ATHE level 3. You click on this declaration, date of submission of the assignment. So today's date, for example, and then you sign with your mouse because it's difficult to sign, but you sign with your mouse and just put this across and click submit. So this is an electronic way of doing it, but you can obviously do it, as a old school. I'm old school. You can do it as a Word document, and that is available. So this is one of the things that you need to submit every time you submit your assignment. Now, this is the learner assignment which the learner has submitted. Now, this is an example of one of the units, which is Unit 1. There was a requirement in Unit 1 to submit one part of the task as a PowerPoint presentation and tasks 2, 3, and 4 as a Word document. So as you can see, the learner has submitted the document. What we've done is we have checked the work against the assessment criteria in the document provided, assignment brief, and there is commenting that we've done on the right-hand side to say why you've achieved this criteria. Now, this commenting will not be visible to you if you open it on a mobile or on a tablet because the screen size is small. So in order for you to be able to look at this, the speech bubbles, you have to open it on a laptop, Mac, or a PC. Now, this is what we do in terms of annotation when we get the assignment, and this is how we submit it back to you for your records and purposes, right? And similarly, it is for the presentation, which has been done by the learner. Now, once this has been checked and marked and assessed, what we then do is basically give you two things back. One, an assessment sheet or a decision sheet to say why you've achieved this unit and what is the grade that you've got in this particular unit. This comes to you for your records to say that I've completed this unit, I passed this unit, and I can move on to the next one. And this is something which we keep and we show to the awarding body as well. It is signed off by the teacher who's actually teaching it, and a final grade is awarded here. Okay, this is called the assessment feedback. Now, in also addition to this, we scan your work for similarity and plagiarism. So as you can see, this work has no plagiarism and is totally original, and the probability of being written wherein the work has been copied and pasted is only showing 3% probability. So this assignment is genuinely learner's own assignment. And as you can see, this report is something which is required to be shared with the awarding body when they come in and look at certification. So in the assessment and feedback process, if I take you back now to the agenda, what you're going to see is a couple of things. And these couple of things would typically mean after you submit the assignment. So step 1 is submission of assignment. And submission of assignment is done to, the email which I provided. Step 2, there is a team of administrators which do a plagiarism, scan and an AI scan. If they find that the assignment has similarity on it or plagiarism on it, you'll get a report back to say, can you redress your work before we assess it? Step 3, what we do is we do the assessment or marking of your work. And then step 4, we provide you feedback and a confirmation grade, to say that this is what you've achieved because it's a graded qualification. All the units are graded. And finally, what we do at some stage when you have completed unit 1 to 6, you will undergo what is called a certification process. And I'll show you an example of a certificate because we have lots of learners undergoing certification every month on this qualification. This is how your final certificate would look like. So this is a learner who has achieved an overall distinction in the qualification. It will be a 2-page transcript. First page would be an award, which will show your qualification and the grade you've achieved. And the second page is going to be your transcript, which will show individual grades that you've achieved in your units. Is that okay? So in terms of turnaround times and in terms of feedback times, when we say feedback, when you submit within 2 to 3 working days, we will give you feedback. It is that quick. Sometimes it is instant. You submit an assignment, within that same day, you will get feedback from us. And certification, when you have completed all the units, takes maximum 4 to 7 working days. Irrespective of the fact that you have joined today and you complete on, say, 20th of February, you will get your certification before 28th of February. It is not a case that I have to wait for so many other learners to finish or so many other learners to submit. No, you start at your.
Sorry to cut you short.
Yeah,
You said February. Is that when the course will end?
No, I'm just giving an example here. The course,
Okay.
if you're
All
starting
right.
now with us, I would say December, January, February, March, you'd probably be looking at March, end of March, first week of April, depending on if you're studying with us, you're able to attend the lectures and you're submitting also the assignments from time to time to be able to complete the work. But sometimes, by act of God or other things, we can't control what we are doing. If you need to take longer, that is possible. If you need to complete earlier, that is also possible. That the pace at which you study the course is totally going to be decided by you, not by us. If you are to follow us, we will teach and deliver this course in 16 weeks, which is maximum 4 months. Because there are sessions one after the other. Every week, there are sessions that you will attend. Each of these sessions will be covering different courses, but obviously your course being health and social care. So this is an example of how many teaching sessions we are doing every day, Monday to Sunday. So your course is currently, if you look at, it was Wednesdays and Fridays as well. And sometimes we have students who do Wednesdays and Fridays, but generally speaking, it is Saturday and Sunday. So your course every week we are running. Now, this is not this week. I can go back 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, and this is how the calendar looks like. This is how the courses have been running. And we've been teaching this course since 2012. Okay, these are the number of teaching sessions which are happening on the courses every day of the week, just to give you an idea. So your question, how soon can you finish or how much time can you take to complete this course? It's totally dependent on you because we keep running this course. You would keep getting the session invites. You'll be invited and stay on the WhatsApp group and on the system till you have completed and achieved the units and the course and the certification with us. But generally, that time period, there's always a finite time period, and that is 2 years because awarding body registrations lapse after 2 years. Generally, awarding bodies would see, if you do not complete the course in 2 years, they generally see you as a dropout. And in such cases, everything obviously comes to an end, and that is why we would say 2 years. Is that okay? Any other questions that you have? Anything which is coming to your mind?
For now, no. Thank you.
Okay, so that helps me, do a comprehensive onboarding as far as the course is concerned, because what we wanted to do was cover some of the bits that will give you confidence to start with us this weekend. So in addition to this, can I check with you now? Do you have access to the course material now on the Moodle?
The last time I checked, I didn't see any course.
Right. Okay. So now because I've on the course now, so after the session, you might want to log in and just check that you have access to the course material.
All right, I'll do that after now.
That's great. And then what we are also going to do is add you to the WhatsApp group. There'll be a small welcome note which will say welcome Anne to the health and social care group. So you'll be added to that group, and Jill, one of my colleagues, will send you the session invites for this weekend so that you're able to, join and start the course with us this Saturday or Sunday, whichever way you are able to attend.
I don't think I will attend, but I will listen to the recordings.
Okay. Now, the last thing which I would suggest, because we had this discussion, now in your case, because you work on Saturdays, if you cannot attend these sessions because you want them probably at 2 p.m. or whatever, and if we don't change timings and sometimes we can't, then what I would suggest is that you request for a tutorial specifically with yourself, and that would be by sending an email. Say, for example, you have gone through some of the material, like presentations, on a particular unit. And what you now want to do is you have doubts and queries, you send an email to Jill at Versity. Now, this is one of the other things. If you have to send an email to anybody at Versity, it's the first name followed by ukversity.co.uk. You don't have to remember very difficult names or anything. So my name is Raman, Jill, Amandeep, Tuba, Gartha, Grace, Amrita. It's all first names for everybody, followed by Versity. So when you're ready and you want a specific tutorial on the course for a particular unit with yourself, now whether that's a 5-minute, 50-minute, 5-hour tutorial does not matter, because what we want you to do is complete the unit, achieve the unit to the satisfaction you want to achieve. And that is the whole idea why you want to do this course with us online. Otherwise, you would have gone to the university to do it, because you're working, you have family, and I can hear a child in the background. So it is perfectly natural. And we have all our learners are adult learners. I think the average age is 35, 36. So we understand what you're going through. And obviously, we'll be there to help and support you to be able to do the course with us to the let's say the grade and the qualification you want to achieve. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Good stuff. So I will now end this particular session. We'll send you a copy of this recording in a couple of minutes. And then hopefully I will catch up with you in one of the sessions that I do or teach one of the units as you go along. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And have a good evening ahead. Take care. Bye for
And
now.
you too. Bye.
Bye. Bye.